In the movie Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, we're introduced to the Basilisk, a giant snake-like monster that lives in the titular chamber underneath the school and who comes up in the story as part of a plot carried out by the preserved memory of Lord Voldemort's younger self when he was still going by Tom Riddle. See, Tom had been using the snake to attack students throughout the school, apparently always catching them when they were isolated and vulnerable, although all of them survived thanks to being lucky enough to accidentally meet its gaze through another object or in a reflection, as looking at a basilisk directly in the eyes means you die instantly.
Instant death awaits any who meet this giant serpent's eye.
Now that's all fine and dandy, but that leaves us with one major question. How exactly does this thing manage to get around without being seen by more people? I mean, the attacks happened all over the school, on multiple floors and corridors no less. I mean, I know these attacks are usually supposed to be during times when the victims would be more isolated than usual, but if a giant snake had to cover that much ground that quickly, you would think that a ghost, a wandering student, a portrait, or literally anything else at Hogwarts would have seen it slithering its way up and down the stairs and back to the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets in the second floor girls' bathroom. So how was it getting out of that one specific area, petrifying someone, then getting away unnoticed? Now to be fair, we know that the Basilisk traveled around the school via the plumbing, thanks to a note from Hermione.
But how's the Basilisk been getting around? A dirty great snake, someone would have seen it. Hermione's answered that too.
But even with that in mind, how exactly was it popping out to catch any victims and escape completely unnoticed? Well, in the book, this is actually pretty easily explained away, since J.K. Rowling actually gave us some measurements here. Once Harry and Ron, along with Professor Lockhart, go looking for the Chamber of Secrets, they first end up finding the basilisk's shed skin, with it being described as only about 20 feet long, so about the size of a real-world python or something. If it helps you visualize the size, you can kind of think of it like the snake Harry met at the zoo in the first movie, like that kind of length. And yeah, I know the basilisk itself is described as thick as an oak trunk, but if you want to get super technical about it, trees, grow, so how thick this thing is supposed to be is kinda up in the air. Like, it's entirely possible it was just really long and really skinny. I mean, we have real examples of snakes about that size coming out of toilets in people's houses, so it's not like it's impossible for a realistic-ish sized basilisk to slither around the pipes, pop out of a toilet, and catch someone in a hallway with no one and nothing else around, then slither back down the drain. But then we have the movie, and now things get a bit more dicey. When we get to the part with the shed skin, Ron specifically guesstimates that it looks like the creature was more like 60 feet long when it was shedding.
Whoever shed this must be 60 feet long.
Given how big this thing turned out to be, I'm sure he wasn't exactly that far off. But that presents a new problem. A snake that size isn't exactly sliding its way out of a regular toilet, so it must be coming and going through the main entrance to the Chamber of Secrets. I mean, Moaning Myrtle even implies this, since that's where she said Riddle released it all those years ago.
I just remember seeing a pair of great big yellow eyes over there by that sink.
So again, how is this thing able to get around in the plumbing and petrify anyone without being noticed? Now, I have seen a lot of theories that someone, like maybe Salazar Slytherin, Tom Riddle, or any of Slytherin's other descendants, put enchantments on the basilisk itself to keep it concealed and undetectable, but I personally don't buy this explanation. If only because you would think those kinds of spells would make it way harder to see in general, let alone kill, during the final fight with Harry. So instead, what if we went with a much simpler explanation? It's the pipes. See, my thought is that the Hogwarts plumbing magically changes size, allowing the snake to come and go wherever it wants without much fuss. I mean, by the time the events of Deathly Hallows happen, we do see that the Ministry of Magic has several different ways of entering the building, with one of them being toilets that magically expand to fit the user as they flush themselves in. So it's not like it's entirely heard of to have expanding pipes in the wizarding world. Even if someone like a teacher or a headmaster at Hogwarts didn't set up this enchantment on their own, which, given how easily clogs can happen if someone uses too much paper or makes too much waste, it would make sense that they would have that anyway. We know that one specific Gaunt descendant, Corvinus, magically protected and concealed the location of the chamber's entrance when the pipes were being installed. So who's to say he or some other descendant didn't also make other adjustments and set up an enchantment like that on their own? But even ignoring all of that, I think all the jokes and memes and criticisms all make us forget one important thing. This is literally a universe full of magic. I mean, in a world where people can make tents the size of apartments, there's literally no reason why the basilisk couldn't snake its way out, no pun intended, through some plumbing and pop out of the nearest toilet whenever it wanted to. Now, how something this big fits through the bathroom door frame though? That's a different story. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with anything I said? Was there anything I missed? Then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace!